Hello, I would like to share with you my story of living with and then ridding myself of the diseases Crohn's and colitis. My name is Richard Verkley, and these videos chronicle my journey to ultimately beat and heal myself of these very diseases. My wish now is to help you or others that suffer from these diseases by letting you know there are ways to heal this disease without surgery or medicine that in the end will not only rid you of these diseases, but improve your overall health tremendously. So thank you for watching.
So, what we're about to see is, can somebody take the time to come back and come back from those very sort of conditions? And maybe to elaborate a little bit more on my condition, first, I had upset bowels, and I had, IBS, and I needed to do this, and I couldn't keep that down. And then, I had a severe diarrhea. This went on for probably more than a year. To the point where I passed out one day and was taken to the hospital by my wife in Las Vegas, and I got intravenous and had to get the the liquids back into my body, and kind of get myself back up. At the same time with that diarrhea, I was passing a lot of blood, and this thing just had gotten to the point where I had to step down from my company and kind of turn it over to the staff that had been with me many years and who are still operating it today, and are continuing to grow the business, but I haven't been able to participate in it myself. So certainly I think stress plays a role. I'm just not sure if it helped cause it or it was an aggravant to it. At this point, I have a feeling it's an aggravant to it, and my research is really pointing me to really looking at the things I've been eating, and sort of the things that I grew up on, and quite frankly, I think the more research we do, and I do, it really points to leading a fundamentally different life in terms of what we consume, but nothing new in terms of any of the science that's out there, because I think no matter who you're talking to today, they're telling you not to eat processed foods. And if you are eating processed foods, frankly, you're doing damage. And I admit to the fact I was eating processed foods, and certainly that's how I've done some of the damage. But it seems like a lot of our ills are coming from our inability to digest the forms of food that we've been making. And the food guides in North America, whether that's Canada or the United States, are really helped governed by the industries that make a lot of these foods. And so if I could just simply put, I can't remember where I read it now, but there was an individual talking about breast milk for babies, and how human breast milk is the best custom food ever designed to feed a human being, up until about 3 years, where the enzymes to digest that particular type of milk start to drop off. So obviously it can go on for some time, but it's not meant to go on forever. But the fact is, it's this incredible excellent digestible food for babies. So then he goes on to talk about if this is so right for babies, why would people be drinking breast milk for cows that are meant for calves? And this is just one example of some of the things we do, where the only people who can really sit there and attempt to argue the fact that cow's milk is good for you is the dairy industry. And as much as I don't want to say such things, and my own family comes from the original dairy industry, maybe these are some things that we need to look at as a whole and as a society. Once again, another great doctor that I met. I kind of remember his advice, and that was to think about where your ancestors came from, and then find out what foods they were eating 100 years ago. And these are probably the foods that you need to eat. So if you're not from the tropics, you probably want to eat apples and pears. And if you're from the tropics, and that's your history and your lineage, tropical foods will probably go down a lot easier. And so there's a compilation of blood types, where you were born, the type, based on the types of foods that you can digest or work best with your system. And as much as I like the lifestyle I've had, I can certainly see clearly that a number of things that I did inside of it have probably helped with my problems, directly or indirectly. And so, not looking to have a fight with any of the conventional medical or nutrition industries, but I think primarily, man has evolved, and, what we were eating on the ground in Northern Europe, where my ancestors were from, probably really didn't change in the last 1,000 years, and as it did, we changed with it. but I would find it, everybody would be fairly hard pressed to, be able to tell me today that, if you modified something, injected it with some sort of modified fat, refined and processed a type of sugar that you normally couldn't consume, and shoved it into a package, and tell me now that, our systems have adapted to being able to eat this. And I think it's a well-known fact today that aspartame would never be passed as a nutritional supplement in food, except it's already in there, like alcohol and many of the other things that we've decided to allow ourselves to do that do damage to us as individuals and our society. So I know this sounds complex, but I'm about to go on this adventure and see if I can kind of turn the boat. And quite frankly, I am tired of living like I've been living, and not being able to function as I would like to function. So I think some people may think I'm taking a bit of a risk, and anybody who knows me knows Richard certainly does take risks, but they're always educated risks. And so I've kind of done my homework. So I'm going to attempt to do a quick video every day and let you know about my progress. And hopefully somewhere down the road, if there is success, I will continue with follow-ups so other people know, because my greatest objective here is if I can change my life and I can get to you and maybe help you with yours. So I will attempt to be absolutely fair in my analysis. And one of my favorite sayings is, don't smoke your own dope. Meaning, don't start to believe the things that you want to believe, but we'll have to try to remain critical in our analysis and of the challenges and the follow-ups, and see if we can get this thing to where a guy can function normally every day. Because I'd really like to get back to my life with my family, but I'd also like to get back to a productive life and doing the things that I've loved to do, and that is travel and be involved in business, and ultimately being outside of this world I've been more or less locked into for many years. So I thank you for your attention, and not that anybody's going to see this down the road, but if you do, it's probably a good sign. So hope to talk to you again later. Thanks.
Thank you for watching my video. If you found this helpful or informative, please come to my website at www.colitisandcrohnsdisease.com, where you will also receive a free gift. Thank you.